Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. So today, I want to talk about something a lot of us are quietly worried about. Retirement. More specifically, what do you do if you don't have a pension? Because let's be honest, pensions are practically extinct in America. Unless you work for the government, the military, or maybe a big union, you're probably not getting one. But here's the thing. No pension doesn't mean no retirement. And in this video, I'm going to show you how to retire early, and we'll also talk about the bigger picture, like how politics can affect your money. Stick around because I promise this isn't going to be your typical just max your 401k video. Let's start with a reality check. In the United States, Social Security is under pressure, pensions are disappearing, and wages, well, let's be real, haven't kept up with the cost of living for decades. And here's where politics comes in. For years, politicians have shifted the responsibility of retirement away from employers and the government and put it squarely on you. That's why we have 401ks instead of pensions. Sounds great in theory, more control, more choice. But let's be honest, it's also more risk. Here's the kicker. The average American has only about $87,000 saved for retirement. That's it. Which is terrifying if you think about healthcare costs, housing, and inflation. But this is where the mindset shift comes in. Instead of waiting for Washington to fix it, we need to take control now. I'll show you how. Before we dive into practical steps, let's talk politics. I lean liberal, and here's why this matters. Policies around retirement savings, healthcare, and wages directly affect how early you can retire. For example, when Republicans push to cut Social Security or raise the retirement age, that makes your planning harder. When Democrats push for things like expanding Medicare or student loan relief, that frees up cash you can redirect to retirement. So yeah, politics is personal here. Retirement isn't just about what you save, it's also about the system you're saving in. And being aware of that is key. Okay, so let's talk strategy. The first step is to create your own version of a pension. Steady, predictable income you can rely on. How do you do that? Through a mix of investments. Think of it like building your own pension fund. First, index funds and ETFs. These give you broad exposure to the stock market, steady long-term growth, and low fees. Second, dividend stocks or REITs. These can create cash flow, almost like a paycheck. Third, side hustles or rental properties. This isn't for everyone, but it's another way to lock in recurring income. The trick is not to rely on just one source. A pension is steady because it's guaranteed. Your job is to create enough streams of income that, together, they feel guaranteed. And by the way, this is totally repeatable. I know people in their 30s and 40s already doing this. They're not millionaires, they just started early and stayed consistent. Here's what most retirement videos miss. To retire early, you have to slash the big three: housing, transportation, and healthcare. First, housing. If you can pay off your mortgage, downsize, or even consider geo arbitrage, like moving to a lower cost state or even abroad, you win. Housing eats the biggest chunk of your income. Kill that and retirement is suddenly way more realistic. Second, transportation. Cars are money pits. The average American spends $12,000 a year on cars. If you can cut that, drive less, buy used, or even go car free, you're saving tens of thousands over time. And third, healthcare. This one's tricky because it's tied to politics. Until the US fixes healthcare, it'll remain a huge challenge. But you can plan around it by using HSAs, looking at ACA subsidies, or even moving somewhere like Portugal or Mexico where healthcare is way cheaper. Cut these three, and you unlock real retirement freedom. Now let's be real. Most of us don't want to sit around doing nothing at 45 or 50. Retirement isn't about never working again, it's about making work optional. That means building a lifestyle where you can stop if you want to. Maybe that's part-time consulting, teaching, or turning a passion into income. And here's the big shift. When you plan for work optional, you don't need $3 million saved. You just need enough to cover your basics because that part-time income fills the gap. This is how everyday people retire early without a pension. Not by sipping margaritas on the beach 24/7, but by creating flexibility. So let's wrap it up. No pension? No problem. Here's the formula. Build your own private pension with multiple streams of income. Attack the big three costs: housing, transportation, and healthcare. Aim for work optional. not never work again. And don't forget, politics matters. Who you vote for affects healthcare, social security, and the rules of the game. Retirement isn't just personal finance, it's a public issue too. But here's the good news. You're not powerless. You can start today. Even if you're behind, small, consistent steps, investing a little each month, cutting unnecessary costs, thinking creatively about income can change everything. So if you're ready to take control of your retirement and stop waiting for politicians or corporations to save you, hit that like button, subscribe, and drop a comment below. What's your personal version of a private pension? I'd love to hear it, and I will see you next time.